back to Inside Eco 162 Podcast, your weekly dose of economic issues and real-world clarity relevant. I'm Pia, your host, and today we are diving into two of the most essential concepts in microeconomic, that is consumer behavior and economic distribution. Today, I'm inviting some amazing guys that will break down each segment of the assignment. So, let's get started. To kick things off, let's start with an overview of why consumer behavior and economic distribution. Join me is Pia, a microeconomic expert who is going to connect theory to reality.
Thanks, Pia, our host for today. I'm excited to be in this podcast. So let's talk about consumer behavior and economic distribution are two key components of microeconomics that explain how individuals and societies make decisions about spending and sharing resources. In Australia, consumer behavior reflects the habits and preferences of a high demand income developed population. Australians often prioritize quality, sustainability and lifestyle when making purchases. These choices are influenced by factors like income, education and social awareness. On the other hand, economic distribution looks at how wealth and resources are shared across regions and communities. In Australia, there are clear differences between urban and groups. This affects not just spending power but access to goods and services. Together, these concepts helps us understand how Australians make consumption decisions and how economic resources are spread throughout society, shaping the overall structure of the economy. That's all from me. Thank you.
Wow, interesting. Let's explore how people make consumption choices. And I would like to bring up Mr. Hakimi, a top student and research in behavioral economics.
Well, hello everyone. I really am glad to be part of this podcast that will be talking about economy. So as for my topic that I have gotten, which is theory of consumer behavior. First thing first, let's start with utility analysis. So what exactly is utility analysis? Well, it is an examination of how individuals allocate their income to purchase goods and services to maximize their utility. In other words, their level of satisfaction. Now, there are two types of utility that we must know, which is total marginal utility and then marginal utility. So what exactly is total marginal? Total marginal is the total satisfaction that consumer receives from consuming a certain quantity of goods and services, while marginal utility is an additional satisfaction gained from consuming one more unit of a good or services that they taken. Next, I'm gonna talk about law of diminishing marginal utility. Have you ever heard of that? Well, probably not. And yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you right now. Well, it is when a consumer consumes more, which means the less extra satisfaction that they will get. And let me give you a brighter side and example of what it is actually. Like the first Maggi cup that we ate would be so delicious and satisfying. But the more Maggi cup we consume, the more boring it will get, because we might get full and then we just get used to the taste. So it's kind of bland to me. So it will be kind of bland. And then next, which is the last one, I'm gonna talk about consumer equilibrium, which is it will reach the peak when the ratio of marginal utility to price is the same for the goods. That's when you are maximizing satisfaction with your budget. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
What an amazing explanation, Hakimi. Now, let's switch to our favorite topic, which is how income is shared. Let's welcome Noraiman, an economy expert.
Thanks. Ever wonder how wages are set in a perfect competitive labor market in Australia? Well, Firms demand labor based on the marginal revenue product of labor, while workers supply labor based on the wage offered and willingness to work. Wages in Australia are shaped by a blend of market forces, government regulation, and collective bargaining, also a minimum wage around 24.1 Australian dollar per hour. Furthermore, some factors influencing wage equilibrium are labor productivity, which sectors like mining offer higher wages due to high output per worker. Other reward to factor of production is rent. It is an income earned by the owner of the land. And based on David Ricardo theory of rent, the most fertile land yields the highest return, and least fertile land earn less or no profit at all. While the modern version is seen as a minimum payment required to keep factors in its current use. Next is profit, which is a reward for entrepreneurship and divided by normal, divided by normal profit, which is a minimum return is required to keep a firm operating, and the other one is economic profit, which indicates above normal returns and attracts new firms to the industry. Lastly, interest, which is a reward for capital. Australian role in the capital market is bank and lenders offering interest rate to savers and charges interest to borrowers, while the interest rate determination in Australia is controlled by the Reserve Bank of Australia to keep inflation in control.
I wonder how policy can fix the gaps. Please welcome Hafiz, a policy analysis.
Thanks. The financial instability hypothesis will transform from a disequilibrium state into a euphoric state. Investment boom that moved in a cyclical fashion, enhance wage fairness by conducting a wage audit by analyzing pay gaps across roles, departments, and others. Regulate rent by setting a legal framework for rent control like rent caps, which set an annual limit on rent. Then optimize profit distribution by prioritizing reinvestment for long-term growth by allocating funds to R&D, infrastructure to upgrade, workforce training, and other familiar things. This will help enable a company to innovate and adapt to market changes. Lastly, real-world example of successful policies is Medicare, a universal healthcare system used in Australia, which provides universal access to healthcare to all Australian citizens. The success of this policy is by doing broad coverage, affordability, and accessibility to all its citizens.
Okay guys, time to wrap things up. Join me, Pia, for the final talk. Let's go. Consumer behavior and economic distribution must remain a core focus in economic planning. Going forward, these are essential steps to ensure the economic growth does not come at the expense of equity but will lay the foundation for a more resilient and suitable Australian economy. Couldn't agree more. Big thanks to all our special guests today. And that's all for today's episode of Inside Echo 162. Thank you.